Is Bitcoin about to dump? Solana CEO takes his football home, and the AI wars are heating up. This is Around the Blockchain. How's everybody doing? We have some great guests, and we're going to just get right into it. On the top left, we have Crypto Keeper holding it down. Crypto Keeper, how you doing? How's that Portuguese coming?
I'm doing well. Estoy tentando a practicar día.
All right, and let us know in the chat, how was his pronunciation there? Wondering that. Now we have unfamiliar Piano Matty B. Piano Matty B, are you on location?
Yes, I'm in sunny Austin, Texas.
Okay,
Austin, Texas.
I am glad you escaped the Yeti. It's good to see that you're sound and safe. Also, we have Jayson Casper, and Jason, I've been seeing you tweeting about I was almost going to SBF's signature pattern. I don't want to lead anyone astray. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, DZ. Thank you for having me on.
It's always a great time. And then we have RiceTVx, and RiceTVx, I'm wondering, that's not an Eye of Illuminati on your necklace, is it?
It's absolutely not at all.
Not at all.
That's I'm not in any sort of secret organization, I assure you.
Which is exactly what he would say if he was. And like I said, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin at first. There is a little bit of a pullback happening. We're going to have some great TA people on the guests today. So, Jason, I'm going to lead with you. Now, we're seeing some key levels get rejected. And now everybody and their mother is saying, it seems like we're going to 20K. I feel like too many people are saying we're heading to 20K. What are your thoughts?
Well, DZ, I think what happens within the next few days is really going to tell us a lot. And we are getting some very conflicting signals on the chart. So if we take a look at the chart, we are coming up to the 200-week moving average, which is key resistance. I mean, we have never been below the 200-week moving average ever in Bitcoin history. And it was perfect support 5 times in the past. And so it's no surprise that we're coming and getting some resistance here. And when we look at these higher time frames, we do clearly see the bearish divergences coming in here. So, it is the dreaded upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boob pattern. Market cipher B is getting lower, just like Sam Bankman-Fried's man boobs here. He would actually flash this out at Caroline and it would get her excited. But when we take a look at the lower term time frames, there's actually still hope. And I want to just say I've been very agnostic lately, because I feel like the short from the 200-week was a little bit too obvious. And when we take a look at some of these lower term timeframes, we can actually see that potentially, if we don't lose crucial support, which in my opinion is going to be 21,779, we could very well print another bullish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, which could give us a pretty big push. The month is about to close tonight, and if we can reclaim 23.8, I think we could get another push to the upside. However, if we cannot reclaim 23.8, then I would expect a pretty significant drop down. And really one of the main reasons for that is because when we look at all the volume that has traded here since May, we're just coming up to the top of this large value area high. So, I mean, if we're going to really reject from here, and this is the top, we could get a move down to 19K. That would be the first stopping point. But if we lose that, I wouldn't be surprised if we put in at least a double bottom here. So in my opinion, we can't really know for certain. Things are looking bearish and bullish at the same time. We're going to have to wait and see. And once we get confirmation of a real trend reversal, in my opinion, by losing this 21.4 level, then we can say, all right, we've put in a lower low on the daily time frame, and now we can look to short a lower high, if you're trading this on derivatives. Or we could say, okay, now's a good time to DCA in on spot, because we're probably going to get a significant pullback. So that's what I'm looking at here.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of key levels there and a lot of good alphas. So once again, everybody, make sure you're checking out Jayson Casper's YouTube channel. Really great trading strategies on there. Now, Piano Matty B, I saw you, I wasn't sure if you're about to hit your keyboard, with your clenched fist, but then I saw that Finch, it unfurled there, the clenched fist, and you're saying up and to the right. What are you seeing for, some of this next couple days with Bitcoin's price action? Because like Jason said, hey, we are ending a monthly candle in just a couple hours here.
Well, I got a couple price points, and you got to think of 25.2 as kind of like the pong, where the ball hit it, it didn't get past it, now it's going to come down again. And so where I think it's going to come down here, a couple cases for 22.5-ish right there. Let me move this thing here. What did I do here? 22.5-ish is our last little low on the 4-hour. Then we go to the daily, and we can see the 50 moving average is right at that 22.5-ish level. And then further out on the weekly, we got the 20. You can see all those closed candles at the 22.5. But look at that 20 moving average, DZ. She's coming up fast, and that's what's giving me the 20K case.
All right. Well, we'll be watching these levels closely, and especially hoping 20K holds as support and doesn't just plummet through and hit some of these November lows. Now, RiceTVx, Jayson brought up the fact we are under the 200-week moving average. This hasn't historically ever happened for Bitcoin. We just got below it semi-recently, still below it. Of course, 200 weeks is right under 4 years. So it is a long metric here. 200 weeks is quite a while. Are you worried about Bitcoin being below the 200-week moving average? Or is this, relatively speaking, too new of an asset for us to really derive any info from this?
I would say all the above, but I've been saying for quite some time that I still feel like the bottom isn't in. I'm looking at things from a macro level. I'm looking at what's happening around the world, and all the markets, every single market is pretty much unattached to reality. And I think we need to have reality set back in. Inflation's not going away anytime soon. We've had recent personal consumption expenditures that have showed a reacceleration of inflation, which means that we're going to have higher interest rates. I was calling for 50 basis points with the last FOMC meeting, and they did 25. And I know they're going to be doing minimum 50 this time around, in my opinion, and I'm sticking with that. And a lot of this has been the predictive models have been put in place to kind of run simulations with different monetary policies. And it's pretty much coming up to that the Fed's got to push rates to about 6.5%, which is higher than the markets had been anticipating. So I still feel like there's going to be a lot more downward action. Plus, I'm also thinking in terms of the future, not too long in the future, we have FedNow coming aboard, which will be a CBDC. And we see all these different countries implementing CBDCs. And I think something, in my opinion, will happen in the United States, if not globally, that's going to encourage people to utilize the CBD technology. So I really feel like, and then we also had the regulation factor to come into play. We don't know what's going on. G20, they're talking about allowing for India to lead for global regulation with cryptocurrency. And we know in the past, India has not been very crypto friendly.
All right. Yeah, you're highlighting a lot of uncertainties happening right now on global scale, regulatory levels. Now, Keeper, there are some things we do have certainty on, and that is on-chain metrics. I pulled up one metric, and maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing here, but long-term holders over the past 7 days have bought 18,000 Bitcoin, 420 million. I swear I didn't pull out that number just because of the 420 there, but it is pretty nice. Are you feeling that we are out of the bear market? I know, hindsight, it will be 2020. A year from now, it'll seem like the answer's obvious. But how are you feeling now? I'm still maybe slightly leaning towards maybe we're out of the bear. Where's Keeper landing on this?
Thanks again for having me on. I just genuinely still feel like we've still got some more downward pressure to go. There's no, I'm not the guy that's going to pull out the chart and show you where we're going to hit and where points of resistance are and support. For me, I'm kind of like Rice. I'm looking at macro. What's happening around the world? What do we have coming up? What's going away? What's not going away? And Rice touched on a lot of the things that I look at regularly. And it basically suggests that we are in a little bit of trouble. It's part of the reason why we stress on debate crypto. Like, have a game plan, prepare. You got into Bitcoin for a reason. You got into cryptocurrency for a reason. It was what? It was some sort of a hedge against the dollar or a hedge against just the global financial system that is at hand right now. So do we think that that's going, do we think that that's going to work long term? Sure, that's the whole point of Bitcoin. That's what we want, the decentralization. We want another option. We want a way to opt out of all of these globally centralized options that they're going to call out as options, but they're really going to force us into, such as CBDCs. And so, does it really matter? The reason that the long-term holders that you're talking about are continuing to scoop up Bitcoin is because they recognize that 25K Bitcoin long-term is a freaking fantastic price. The same people that have been buying for a long time have been believing for a long time. Dollar cost averaging is like the boring thing to do, and I talk about it a lot, but it works. And so at the end of the day, if you are trying to continue to stack Bitcoin, because one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, if you're continuing to stack Bitcoin, 25K is still a good number. 30K is still a good number. I just believe long term that we are going to be seeing a lot of more upward to the right action. Short term, I think we've got some more opportunity to come, but playing as if we know exactly where it's going to go and buying at just certain particular price points doesn't work for me. I know there's a lot of traders that do well with that, but for me, I'm with the long-term holders. Like, hey, let's continue to scoop up more. Let's have more tomorrow than I had today, and that's ultimately what I see. I think I don't think we're out of the bear market. I think we're in some sort of a bear market rally right now, and I won't be surprised to get some crazy macro news that sends us plummeting one more time, and then maybe see some upward price action from there.
All right. Well, hard
Yeah, look,
agree on the DCA. Rice, go ahead.
I want to add that, we're just a few straws away from breaking the camel's back. And no matter how good you are with charts, you're not going to foresee a black swan event.
Yeah, and that's why we, do stress DCA as just kind of being the safest strategy. And as the Mandalorian says, this is the way. Shout out Season 3 premiere tomorrow, everybody. I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah?
All right. Yeah, I had to throw that out there. All right. Hey, Baby Yoda, who doesn't like it? Hit the like button if you do like Baby Yoda. Shout out to Crypto Wendio. Big fan. All right, let's talk a little Solana. And there's a little tweet yesterday that got everyone's feathers ruffled, especially the Solana CEO. How about that logo, though? Again, hit that like button if you think that's kind of clever. I think that's pretty good. Yesterday, Solana had another 20-hour outage, just one of about a dozen times the chain has gone down. But why? All part of a massive design flaw that I'll try to break down in this thread. I'm just going to hit the broad strokes here. Essentially, this and a couple other chains handle all their consensus on chain, meaning when you have, proof of stake network like this, the voting and saying, hey, this is good is counting as a transaction per second metric. And they were saying it is up to 90 to 95% of the on-chain interactions is just validator messages and voting. I don't know if we could see it on this thread, but the CEO of Solana, he ends up coming out. He weighs in. I don't know. It's Twitter algorithm. We're not signed in, but Yanity Yokovenko, he is the one denying the claims. He's the Solana CEO. The outages were being caused by the high volume of validator messages. And he was saying this was born out of, quote, pure ignorance, but then didn't really explain why Solana was down. So didn't really give us any insight. Now, Rice, I know this fails one of your trifecta. Could you just, someone who hasn't really heard that, why does it fail so hard in your viewpoint, and why does it matter so much to you? Okay. Wait. He's hitting
I clicked the wrong button and then something else popped up. My bad.
Okay. Yeah. Your microphone
just
was
like
using
Solana.
Yeah. We had
just like
yeah,
Solana.
exactly.
Solana
That's what I was doing. Yeah. Windows 95 Solana joke. How long have I been talking crap about Solana around the blockchain?
21, at least since 2021.
I am not a fan. As a defender of decentralization, I know again that there is a time and a place, but you can't claim to be a decentralized project and do what Solana has done with their numerous shutdowns. And how many decentralized projects actually have a CEO? So, I would really like to not be discussing this topic anymore. I think that we should all be moving beyond Solana. I don't think that it has anything to offer. I don't think that it's worth salvaging. If there is anything worth salvaging, then I would take the code and I would create a brand new blockchain. I would get away from the taintedness of SBF, from the centralization, from all the mini shutdowns. It's just the very complete opposite of what Bitcoin was created for. And I'm using Bitcoin specifically as a decentralized cryptocurrency, which is 100% opposite of what Solana claims to be.
All right. And I think you just summed it up well. We got to maybe stay away from the taint. You know what I mean? Jayson.
Yeah, unless you like the taint.
What do you think of Solana as far as the price action goes? It is down considerably from all-time highs. We reached a peak close around $250, significant time above $100. What is it looking like, as far as its historical price action?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I would say that it seems very untrustworthy as an asset in general, since that logo that was very clever with the on-off switch. It's always going down, so it seems like it can't be trusted. It doesn't really matter anymore why it's going down, right? But if we take a look at the chart, just looking at this, from a purely technical point of view, we did have a very bullish move to the upside, and now we are getting some consolidation. And I do have to say that the daily money flow is still actually looking kind of bullish on Solana. And although I'm personally not trading it, I'm keeping my eyes on this this golden pocket down here at around 1525, because it's just very clearly a nice support resistance flip right here. And this is a place where you should be looking for a bounce, because if there is more upside to this asset, this gives us a very good entry to a trade where, if we're going to be taking a long here and our target is at the next major resistance around $35, if we're going to bounce from the support resistance flip, this is giving us a really nice 12-to-1 risk reward potential right here. So of course, we would only want to do this if, first of all, we continue to see the money flow getting higher. And then if on the 4-hour time frame, we see something like this, where the momentum waves are starting to turn to the upside as the price is hitting into that golden pocket, and the money flow also on Market Cypher getting higher, this is a very, very high win rate setup. In fact, we can see the last time Solana actually got this, it was pretty much the exact same thing I'm drawing. We had the bullish divergence with the money flow getting higher, and that gave us a very nice move to the upside. So I don't know what's going on fundamentally, but technically, this is a very great place.
If it isn't too much trouble to ask, what is the percentage gain from that previous low to that local high? Just wondering for those who do want to maybe do a 5x, maybe a 10x.
That's a 40% gain. That's a 40% gain.
All right. Yeah. So if you had 10x, that's a nice little quadrupling of your trade there. Piano Matty B, do you think that Solana is going to be able to continue to just shrug off all these outages? We're around a dozen at this point. Can they shrug this off all the way until the next bull market price action rally?
Well, like I said before, I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a human minimalist, and I don't have a lot. I do have a schmuck's purse of Solana, which is obviously underwater right now, but I keep my eye on it. And I think the funny thing about Solana is that there's a lot of smart people and a lot of smart camps that keep on saying that's the next big thing, and it's amazing, and the fees are low and everything's great about it, right? And then there's a lot of smart people and a lot of smart camps that say it's completely, a POS. So to me, it's like a super hot chick. Unfortunately, she's crazy, and maybe if she ever gets out of the loony bin, maybe I'll take her out for drinks. I don't know.
All right. Well, technically, it is a POS, so nothing incorrect was said there. Now, Keeper, what do you think that the projects who have launched on Solana are thinking? What would you do if you had launched Danger Close Alpha on the Solana network instead? Are you just, are you hoisting the sails and trying to keep that ship moving to the horizon? Or are you jumping overboard?
And I got to tell you, first of all, the solution for Solana is simple. You just need to marry her, and then she'll stop going down on you. And so,
let's remove 7 points.
I couldn't.
Okay.
Couldn't
you get
myself on that one. No. So ultimately, we've joked around on Solana for a long time. My problem with Solana is you never get an answer, but it's happening a lot. Like it seems like every time you turn around, it's happening. They're down. It's 20 hours. It's 2 hours. It's 7 hours. But there's never really an answer that you get as to why. I think personally, if we would have launched Danger Close Alpha on Solana, first of all, that would have been a very bad move. There's a reason that it's on Ethereum. It's a trusted network that doesn't go down, that ultimately serves the purpose that it's supposed to serve, right? I think that if we would have launched on Solana, you're asking me what I would have done. Yeah, I probably would have figured out a way to bridge at a minimum over to something else, because I would want to, and actually that would still keep you on the network. So no, yes, I would bail. I would jump overboard. I would say, see you later, Solana. Get me on another network. I'm not happy. You continue to go down, and no reason for it. So that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, let's move on and talk about the AI. AI might solve your issues later. Anyways, AI wars are heating up. We have Elon Musk. He's, again, sounding the alarm on what he's considering one of the greatest and most grave threats against humanity. Right now, he's forming a team to fight ChatGPT with a poached lead developer from Alphabet, the DeepMind and Artificial Intelligence Unit. He's trying to get Igor Babushkin. I don't know if I said that correctly. Of course, I want to throw some stats at you. ChatGPT hit 100 million users in 2 months. For reference, it took TikTok about 9 months to hit 100 million users. Took Instagram, about one of the next fastest apps, 2.5 years to hit that level. And currently 13 million users daily just using this thing. Now, Keeper, I'm going to go back to you. We've talked about this before. Elon Musk, he helped found ChatGPT. It started as a nonprofit. It has since evolved into something completely different, and it's now a for-profit company that sold 51% to Microsoft. So now he's trying to replicate and recreate and just start fresh here. Since they've had so many years has passed, Keeper, do you think that he's going to be able to do it again, or has that ship sailed and now it's just too late?
I think he'll be able to do it again. I think that it will be in a different format. One of the nice things about having the first mover advantage is a beautiful thing because you're kind of that known name, but also with being the first mover, you get to have all of the problems. You get to you get to be the company or the code that effectively is going to feel and see all the problems. So I think one of the nice things is Elon Musk, especially with the kind of money that he is sitting on and has the ability to do anything he wants to do, he can kind of sit back. He knows the information on the backside as to what's happening to make this AI do what he wants it to do or what they would like it to do. But he gets to see the human interaction and the feedback and the things that are going wrong. One of the things that I hate about ChatGPT, and I know this will probably surprise anyone that has watched me for any amount of time, is it's freaking programmed to be woke. You can ask it things to do, and I won't get into specifics, so I keep us out of hot water here, but you can ask ChatGPT to do some things on one side of the political aisle that it will do, and on the other side, absolutely not, I can't go there. Well, there's a problem with that because what is that doing? That's ultimately not feeding you any sort of truth. It's feeding you a narrative. And one of the problems that we're dealing with in our world today is a false, a skewed, an incorrect narrative. And it shouldn't be a narrative as much as it just should be truth. So if we're going to create an AI, if Elon Musk is going to be the one that is going to step up and do this, he already says he wants to be the free speech leader of the world, right? He's trying to give that to Twitter. He's trying to make changes in that manner. Well, then create an AI that is going to do the same. The AI is just going to compile all of the data and look at it without this opinionated, one-sided, politically charged view. If we can get to that, and I think Elon Musk, unless he's lying about who he says he is completely, I think he could be the person for the job. He's got the money to do it. He's got the smarts to do it. I'm going to guess that he's got the people to do it, and he wants free speech. And so ultimately, if we can get one of these AIs to just compile data, spit back out do what it's supposed to do without having a politically charged or motivated backing, then hey, I'm all about it. Yeah, I think he can do it, and I think he'll do it well. I think he'll be very successful with it.
Okay, he's good enough, he's smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like him. RiceTVx, assume there's going to be a competitor to the woke settings of ChatGPT. Assume, maybe it's leaning the other direction. Do you see that creating more of an issue when it comes to regulation now that there's a AI system that everyone is pissed off? Does that mean the legislators are going to come down harder on it, or now that they have a dog in a fight, everyone has a dog in a fight, just let the dogs roam free?
I mean, that's a really good question because, I mean, it could depend on the lobbyist. I mean, if you have and this is obviously a very prosperous, very profitable industry. So if they have the right lobbying going on in DC, they may be able to fight against, because we've seen so many things like this take place. I'm curious, like I was reading the article, I'm curious really what Elon Musk's motives are. I mean, when he was originally an investor in OpenAI because it was supposed to be nonprofit open source. They've apparently changed that. Now it's closed source. So is he wanting to have something that's going to be open source, or is he wanting to create an AI that's offering the opposite bias? Because bias is obviously going to be a problem. And the big problem with biasness, no matter how it's set, whether to the left or right or whatever the agenda of the data that's being put in, is just the rise of stupid, confident, biased, narrow AI is the best way to put it. And just to kind of say something in what Keeper was saying about Elon Musk and being a free speech leader, I agree. He is trying to act like that. He's mentioned that he's a free speech absolutist, but he's a hypocrite. And if he wasn't a hypocrite, and he was an absolutist, and he was cared about freedom, then we would see everybody returned on Twitter, including Mr. AJ.
Okay, yeah, and hey, old Don too. You know, maybe Don, the Orange Man, would be back. Piano.
Well, I
I
think
guess
he was allowed
He's
back.
technically,
Yeah,
he is allowed.
he
Yeah,
just chose
yeah.
not to come back.
Yeah,
So
he can't kill truth.
you can't have complete freedom of speech when you don't allow certain people to play in the yard.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I always say this: Truth Social should have been called Trumpet. It's just a clear slam dunk for a name there. Now, Piano Matty B. You know, I definitely think AI is going to be used a lot more in business 2-3 years from now. A lot of people are saying, you know, I just keep I keep a tab open at all times. Do you see the adoption rate reaching the levels of, I'll throw out just 2 examples. Can it reach the level of email, or, you know, maybe can it at least reach the level of, say, Zoom calls? How proliferating or how much proliferation are you expecting here?
Well, what a amazing time to be alive right now. Like it's so insane what's going on. When I think about every single conspiracy theory I ever preached about kind of has come true. I never gave much credence to the whole simulation theory until a couple things. One, the billionaires are fighting for freedom of speech with AI bots. That's unbelievable. And 2, there's a sriracha shortage, and that would only happen in my simulation. But back to conspiracies, I really think that all this battling is going to be for the normies and the dummies to demand a digital ID. So as things become deeper and more fake, and nobody knows what's real anymore, just please somebody give me a reason so I know things are real. They'll all beg for a digital ID. So this is where it all bottlenecks. And, you know, maybe within a year or 2, beyond anything, whoever's bigger or what, the dummies will beg for a digital ID, and then we'll know the end reveals the truth.
All right, and final question, Jayson Casper, are we in a simulation? No, more seriously, if you want to answer that, I am interested. I don't know if you've ever, you know, maybe you and the wife chatted about that over, you know, nice T-bone steak or anything. But what do you think about, you know, same question I sent to Matty, you know, 2-3 years from now, is this going to be used by 40% of office workers, 80% of office workers? You know, it would be a backlash of 0%. What do you think the near term looks like? Muted. I think the AI, you know, we are in a simulation.
AI doesn't want, they want to cut off his free speech. Where's Elon?
Where's Neo?
I know, right?
We need Neo.
I do think that this is going to be used by pretty much everybody within 3 years. And I also think it's very interesting, and I totally agree with everything that the panelists have already said. It's very strange to me that you have a guy like Elon Musk, who's like a transhumanist, a technocrat. His grandparents were technocrats in Canada in the late 1800s. He wants to put a microchip in everyone's brain and merge us with technology. And he's supposed to now be this like anti-woke hero that's going to like take over social media and take over AI and save everything. That's very strange to me because yeah, like he is a hypocrite. You know, Ye is not on Twitter, AJ is not on Twitter, David Icke's not on Twitter.
I mean, what you just said with the AI thing makes complete sense, though, because if you compare the two, he is definitely a hypocrite.
Yes, it is. So I don't trust him at all. It seems like he's playing a role to get people like in the mindset of what we're talking about to rally behind this, and probably leading to what Piano Guy was just saying about the digital ID, which is very interesting. But I think absolutely within 3 years, everybody's going to be using this. People are going to be outsourcing, just like we already do, outsourcing our intelligence to the AI. I mean, you know, I can't lie and say that, you know, whenever I don't know something, what do? I Google it. That's what most of us do. And this is just going to become so integrated into our lives. And it's going to totally change the way everything is done. All content is created. All content is written. It's, I think in a lot of ways, it can really take away a lot of what makes us human. But unfortunately, I think it's probably here to stay for quite some time.
Yeah, every day we get closer and closer to wiping our you-know-whats with the seashells, and I don't know if I want that future. I'm going to fight it as hard as I can. It looks like we are out of time, and Jayson ended up taking it home. It was really good charts in the beginning. Make sure if you're just jumping in and out, make sure you rewind it, check it out, and make sure you have subbed to everybody's channel here. Make sure you also like the video. But Jayson, you end up taking it home. Feel free. If you even exist, I don't know if we're in a simulation, but take it away. Leave us with some parting thoughts.
Hey guys, well, it's definitely some volatile times out there. So if you're trading these charts. Make sure that you have a plan going in, and make sure to subscribe to everybody on the panel. Awesome, guys. And thank you so much, DZ, for having me on the show, man.
Hey, links are in the description. Go there right now. Make sure you're subbed. Hit that like button. That's all we got time for today, Bit Squad. Easy out.